Hey folks, hope everybody's doing well on this Sunday afternoon. I have the Hyggerelectricgravelcleaner HG-955. So, just happened to be going through the Pet Nanny site and I came across this Gravelvac, and a lot of us have sand in our tank. And if you use a python or something similar to that, that little plastic ball valve, that thing right there, just getting a little bit of sand in there, and you go to turn it off so that you can, take the siphon out of your tank, or do another tank, or whatever you're going to do with it, it snaps that little plastic piece off that valve, at least on the pythons. I know I've gone through 3 since I've had a python, and we're going way back. No matter how careful you are when you try to clean up your sand, there's always a few pieces that find their way up in there. So when I looked at the design of this, they mentioned about taking care of your sand. So we're going to take a look at it. What I had done though, when I saw that, I reached out to Hygger and asked them, if I could do a review on this, because I think it will help a lot of us out when it comes to cleaning the sand, especially if you have white sand. Like my pea puffer tank actually has peppered sand. I mix black and white, but over time the detritus, the mold builds up and it looks pretty crappy. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to try to clean that and see if this is going to work. You have that ribbed hose similar to the new Series 7 Fluval filters, and then you have a bag of all these wonderful parts. A lot of connections. The plastic itself is pretty decent. It's not that cheap, flimsy plastic. Got your little brush, your hose clips, your O-rings and suction cups, and all the various pieces to hook it up. So that you can start making your sand look good again. You have your little sand wand. So everything has little strainers to help reduce getting that sand into your hose or your valve and messing up your valve. So quite a lot of pieces to this. So let's put it together and I'll show it to you what it looks like. Okay, so I have it all put together. There are more tubes to extend it down into a deeper tank. Now this is just set up. There's no attachments on it yet. There are definitely a lot of parts with this. So the way it's set up right now, it's basically just set up to get ready to either do a water change or clean your tank, clean your substrate. With this the way it is now, it's going to draw up from whatever attachments here, run it through, catch any of the debris that got by what I'm going to show you, and then it goes back in the tank. The other way would be to utilize the hose and run it into a 5-gallon bucket. Now that this is attached, you'll be able to, now this, in the video, they show you refilling your tank by taking this and sticking it in the bucket and putting this into the tank. The other way, now this will draw to about 2 inches of water before it'll stop drawing the water up. But if you have where a python kind of makes this a little bit easier, you just connect it to the sink, adjust your temperature, add your water conditioner of choice, and fill your tank. This you can stick in a bucket and then put this and fill your tank back up. So it's just a matter of switching roles. But my intended purpose, reaching out to Hygger and asking if they would send me one of these to actually review it and put it through its paces, is, like I said, a lot of us have sand tanks, and we know, what a nightmare it can be. And you don't want to be snapping the control valves off because just a couple grains of sand get caught in here, and you turn it and it snaps. It's just brittle plastic. So with this setup, you can leave this in there, and it'll catch some debris because I did put the piece of foam in there, but usually you use it without it just to do a water change. So if you have food, fish poop that's on the bottom of your glass tank, put this on a little bit of an angle and you can vacuum up. What's going to happen is it's going to get caught in this chamber, and then it's going to put the clean water back into your tank. So you're not doing a water change, you're just cleaning, saving you money as well. Go check out the Eco 396 video and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So now you have some stuff that's stuck. You may have some brown diatom algae on the bottom, or stuff that's sticking, just like a vac. Nice bristles, which I probably already said. It's going to suck it up, and the stuff that's not going to destroy your impeller, the soft debris and stuff, is going to get trapped up in here. So you can either use the small pore foam or the coarse, or leave it as it is when you get it out of the box, and it has both in there. It has the coarse and the fine, which I'm going to put back in that way because I don't really have a need for this. Now, right now it's at 11.5 inches. If you add on the extension tubes, it'll take it to 40.1 inch or 40.5 inches to allow you to get down into some of the taller tanks. With this, same thing. If you have gravel, they call it a sand washer, but they also mention about gravel. So you could take this, stick it down, and move it around your gravel and get up all that mold. Again, there's nothing stopping it from going, any of the mold from getting to here. This is just wide open tubing. But it's also small enough that you don't have to worry about the fish getting into it. Same with if you're doing a water change and you're using the strainer. So thinking about it, and this tank right here, my 10-gallon pea puffer tank, you can see the front of it has got mulm all through it, and it's pepper sand. It's an equal amount of white and black sand, and you can see just within the first half inch the brown that's kind of worked its way down in there. My 29-gallon nano tank has black blasting sand in it, and of course as the roots grow from my dwarf sage and stuff, you can kind of see them moving, and as it moves, the sand moves with it, and stuff starts getting trapped down in there. So that's when we bring out the sand cleaner. Excuse me. It's got the grid, got coarse foam. Stick it in like that, slight angle, go through your sand. It's going to pick the sand up, it's going to undulate it, twirl it around, and it's going to suck that debris up. Difference is, because we're dealing with sand now, it's going to get trapped in this coarse foam. Then it's going to travel up. Any of the mulm that might have gotten picked up, that's got through here is now going to get caught in the fine, and then this water is going back into your tank. Again, not doing a water change, just cleaning your substrate and making it look like new. So with this unscrews, which is how I got the foam out and put it in the other one. This one, if you look at it, it's knurled, almost like you could take it apart, but you can't. This is one piece. There's no threads. So what you'll have to do is, once you're all done, if you start seeing the suction decreasing or you see a lot of buildup, is just, you know, take it in your sink and shake it around, spray it out, get all that gunk out of there. This would have been nice, especially because we know foam breaks down over time, if they did the same thing, made it so that you could unscrew it and swap it out if need be, which also helps them if they sell foam pieces for it. And this one unscrews. So, like I said, I saw it on the Pet Nanny site, and I sent Hygger a message and I asked them, you know, if they could send it to me, because I think this could definitely help a lot of us out. So they said no problem. They sent it out. That's the instruction manual outlining all the parts. The hose, the on-off switch that goes into the cord coming off of here. So on the HG-955, it's got a 20 watt motor. This one has a 15 watt. 396 gallons per hour versus 360. So it's a little less powerful. So it might, where I'm accustomed to the 396 really drawing water, it's a step down, but for my application, it's actually a good thing because I'm dealing with smaller tanks that have sand, except for my cichlid tank. So that's going to allow me to get in there and work it around and give me time, not to mention that you're putting the water back into the tank so that you can really do a thorough clean, as opposed to racing time that you have your Python or whatever gravel vac that you have, and you know it's going, you're using the faucet water pressure to create the suction. You know that you have to do it so fast to get it done before the tank gets too low. Here you don't have to worry about it. Vacuum it up, put the water back in the tank. This is for bare bottom. Your little wand, go across the bottom, and this actually clips up. There's clips right there, and then that goes in there, and it goes all the way up so that your line, your electric cord isn't all around. So at any rate, you go through like that, bottom's clean, you're good to go. Especially if you're just doing maintenance and you don't want to do a water change, it puts the water back into the tank. No need for any sort of prime or ACCR powder or any other water conditioner you use. So you have a bare bottom tank, and you know you've got some stubborn algae that might be sticking on the bottom. Some of the mold might be sticking. So just like your home vac, you can take this and scrub it up. Now these are nice, and after just doing it, they really stay in a uniform shape. But these are definitely a nice stiff bristle. So that way you can get in there and get it off and get it up, take it, trap it in here or in your pail. Now, if you have coarse, they say coarse sand, and I would assume gravel too. You have this little tip. Now there's nothing between here and here, so I would not recommend using it. The manual goes through the different configurations. It tells you right here what it is, what its purpose is, and how to put it together. So for example, this one is application environment is without gravel in the tank. Purpose is to remove debris, and the assembly is all pictures, and then the instructions, screw connector on the pump, etc., and so on. The warranty on this is 1 year free warranty, 1 month free return, free replacement for 3 months, which is common on anything that I've shown to you and reviewed. That's pretty much their warranty. So I'm anxious to try it out because, like I said, you know, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this. This can be a pain in the behind, especially if you're in the middle of multiple water changes and you just, you know, were trying to get things done and you were focusing on not sucking up fish or whatever, and you snap that little white plastic knob off. Now you've got to kink the hose and do all of that. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out. I thought I'd do a quick video, just introduce it to you. I put a link in the descriptions to the video so you can actually see and put it all together. I figured I'd spare you guys all of that. As far as quality, it definitely is not cheap plastic. I mean, this would probably be the weakest link, but it's not like you're going to crack it. You're not sticking it under a rock and trying to lift the rock. I have high hopes for it, and I hope it works out. It sells for about 30 bucks, but I will put the link in the description again. But I think this would help us all, especially, you know, for people that have the white pristine sand, and I see it in so many forms. How do I keep my sand clean? What can I do? You know, people say, you know, put the pantyhose over the siphon tube. You know, there's a lot of ways to DIY it, but I think the winning aspect on this particular gravel cleaner is that with a Python, your motor, so to speak, is attached to your sink, either nearby or in another room. Then you're at the mercy of your water pressure. Do you have enough to really generate suction to get that sand really, you know, dancing around, or the gravel dancing around and having that mold separate? Here, the business end is right next to the business end. So you've got your motor, you've got your siphon tube, your cleaning tube. So the power is all relatively close. So when you put it in there, it's going to undulate, it's going to draw that stuff out of your tank, and you'll be back to having a beautiful white or just beautiful sand. Once I get everything set up, I'll come back and we'll do an update video showing you the HG-955-AC in action, and we'll see if it's really worth its weight in money. It's going to say gold, but that made no sense. At any rate, folks, this is Rob at the Freeze Aquariums. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and as always, take care of yourself and each other. And as always, peace.